Hello guys, this is the SWTOR guy here, and welcome back again for some news. I know I just made this yesterday, but there is a few new stuffs came out, and apparently some of the news what I said are now actually not available or stuffs like that. I actually posted, I think that video is the same time I'm posting this, so there will be two SWTOR news. I think, or something like that, but these are kinda huge. So Eric Musko just made a forum post not so long ago about the game update 5.2, and they will introducing a new gear to the Galactic Command and so on. The tier 4 gear is gonna be the big differently than the others and stuffs like that. So he asked the question, why add 100 more command ranks? And he said, however, since it's already possible to rank up at command length 300, we decided to take your feedback and keep the current cap. So starting at 5.2, command grades drop at level 300 will contain tier 4 gear. Going forward, tier 3 will stop being provided at 299. So basically, if you are maxed ranked already, basically after 5.2 you can get tier 4 gear. So I suggest if you are level 300 and have a lot of command crates, don't open it, just wait until the 5.2 and you will getting tier 4 gears. But these tier 4 gears are gonna be pretty different. I'm gonna tell you why, because he's asking more questions and stuffs like that, and command changings and stuffs like that. So why a new tier gear? We have two main goals in mind in addition to tier 4. The first is to act as a benefit for players who put in the time and effort to level up to command rank 300. The second goal is giving the most skilled PvE players in SWTOR a worthwhile reward for their coordination and gameplay mastery, while also introducing gear drops needed taking on Tithe in veteran mode and other master mode operations or bosses. PvP players will also be purchased tier 4 gear for unassembled components as they do at other tiers today. So you can buy tier 4 gears by PvPing, but I suggest it's not gonna worth getting it, because it's gonna take a lot of grinding. So instead you need to go into operations, and possibly it's gonna go for master mode. Probably they dropping master mode. That's gonna be another topic what I wanted to talk about. So they are changing the gear system kinda as well. So they will be releasing tiers in the tiers. So so they kinda release 3 tiers in tier 4. And I think tier 3 as well, but I'm not quite sure for that. But tier 4 is definitely. So tier 4's biggest difference from previous tiers is every gear drop from the command kit will be a prototype, blue, artifact, purple, or legendary gold item. There are no premiums. Additionally, prototype quality in this tier as all have SAP bonuses, so it doesn't really matter if you're getting the prototype, the artifact, or the legendary. They all gonna have SAP bonuses. So the best thing about this, but basically the main goal for this is, I think this is a really good idea. Like, this is what they needed to do, and I'm really liking this idea. The RNG system is gonna be in there as well. So, and possibly you will get every once or second command crate. I think you will get a set bonus gear for sure. But it is actually matter if you're getting a prototype, an artifact, or a legendary. At the moment, there is now the artifact items, but the legendary items I really like. So those are the gold, like shiny items, which I really like, and they are not focused too much anymore. Back in the day, it had a legendary item and it was the bowcaster, I think. But other than that, there was not too much legendary stuffs in the game. So I really like they focusing more on the legendary stuffs. The good thing about these, obviously, they're gonna have set bonuses, and possibly the prototype gear and the artifact is gonna be the same as like a tier 3, but it's gonna be a little bit better. So you can upgrade it, obviously, but it's not gonna be like just you seeing right now, like a between the 236 gear and the 242 gear, pretty much. You cannot see too much differences. I mean, you can see a lot of differences. For example, you will getting plus 15 or 20 endurance. Maybe on an artifact or prototype item, you will getting plus 5 endurance or plus 3 or something like that. But it's gonna be still a slightly better upgrade. This means every piece of gear coming from a command crate in tier 4 will have a set bonus where applicable and be a prototype or better quality. It's also important to note every piece of gear in tier 4 is better than gear from the previous tiers, including tier 3 legendaries. So as I said, those are going to be better. I don't know if it's slightly, but it definitely it's going to be better. As legendary tier 4 items are blessed in slot, they will remain fairly rare from command crates. So as I said, possibly when you're getting a command crate and you opening the whatever items and stuff like that, the legendary items are gonna be really difficult to get from these command crates. Now, tier 4 is primarily to our most hardcore players who have maxed out their command ranks and working on getting best in slot gear for their character. Now in Galactic Command, every player has an opportunity to set a complete set of best gear offered in SWTOR. Does this mean tier 5 and/or more command ranks are coming in the future? We certainly have explored the idea of adding more command ranks, as you know, and tier 5 has been actively discussed as well. While we do have plans for the new items in the future, these may or may not come with the additional ranks or new tier level. Once we determine the appropriate delivery mechanism, we'll let you know, but more than likely that will be much later in the year. So possibly we're gonna get a new tier gear as well, but we'll see how that goes on. Let us know what your thoughts. Now, tier 1 to tier 3, this is the main thing what I also wanted to talk about as well. So as you guys can see, they are changing these as well. So coming in Game Update 5.2, we are making substantial changes to how command crates work, specifically focusing on drop rates for gear. Perhaps the single most repeated comment about the command crates is they do not feel rewarding due to random nature of the content of the crates. To resolve most of these issues, we adding a ways both PvP/PvE players to target specific gear slots and obtain those items directly. For players who are looking to gear up through Galactic Command, working through a tier can feel like a grind, slice, rewards don't change. You can get the same premium belt at command rank 70 that you got at rank 1, which is frustrating and when you are trying to complete your class set. Starting with Game Update 5.2, drop rates of better quality items, legendary and artifact, will get higher as you gain command ranks in a given tier, while lower quality items, premium and prototype, drop rates will go down. What this means is you encourage to continue increasing your command rank as drop rates of more desired items get higher as your rank. So what this means is he's basically taking an example. So let's look at tier 3 and 2 and 3. Right now the experimentation of gear drops the entire tier. Premium, green, high, prototype, blue, medium, artifact, purple, low, and legendary, yellow, very low. After game update 5.2, gear drops get much better as you process through the tier. Let's say you are getting close to the top of your tier, and this is what you will look like. Premium no longer drop. Prototype medium. Artifact medium and legendary medium as well. So let's just say, I'm gonna give also an example. So let's just say you are in 100, you just passed tier 1, for example. So you were in 100 command rank. Soon as you're starting to get command crates from a level 100, they will change the drop rate as soon as, like, pretty much leveling up. So if you are level 101, for example, you will definitely mostly getting premium, so gear, green items. But as soon as you're leveling up, so for example, you are in 120 rank, you pretty much getting higher chances to getting yourself a purple or a blue item, or maybe a legendary item. But if you are like 170 or 180, there's possibly a high chance now to getting at least artifact or legendary items, which I really, really like. So definitely that's gonna be a good, also really good idea as well in the game. As you can see above from the example, after 5.2 you will be able to get higher quality gear from your characters more consistently, god damn it, I forgot to talk, consistently as you process through each tier. This will also help addressing concerns about the inability to get set bonus gear from your command crates. In addition to the operation drop changes we are making at the same time, keep in mind these drop range changes applying tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 works like a little differently, and we discussed more in this thread. These are the improvements we are making in game update 5.2, stuffs like that. Okay. Hey folks, if you haven't read it, then we recommend to head over tier 4 in game update 5.2 thread. Okay, these are not gonna be the issues. So, these are the main things, what I want to see. So, and basically these are going to be the operation boss changes as well. So now every boss is going to drop a specific set bonus or set bonus item. So it is not going to be like random for the first 4 bosses and the last one is going to drop, for example, the head or the that or that. Not anymore. What you need is basically doing what you need to do. Basically, tier 2 legendary items dropping from story mode. So the tier 1 items, what you're getting from command rank 1 to 100, they will be removed. And tier 1 no longer is gonna be in operation. So the only way you can get tier 1 gear is through PvPing or PvPing pretty much, or getting command rank. That's how. So tier 2 legendary gear will drop in story mode. Tier 3 legendary gear will drop in veteran mode. Tier 4 prototype and artifact gear will drop in master mode. Non-final bosses, but the tier 4 legendary gear, so the best gear, what you can have after game update 5.2, will be still dropping from master mode and from the final bosses. So these are going to be the same, and pretty much you will also need to do more like bosses at the end for Nightmare. For Gods for the Machines, tier 3 in story mode and tier 4 in veteran. I want to see that, to be perfectly honest. And you can see a lot of changes in Operation 5.2 and stuff like that. So there is a couple of questions which I wanted to read as well, because they are really informative and stuff like that. So I'm guessing that the tier 3 crates earned before 5.2, even after CXP level 300, will still be tier 3 and won't suddenly change into tier 4 when 5.2 comes up. For example, should we save them till 5.2 or keep opening them? your guess is correct. Continue to open any crates that you will earn until that time. So probably, and this is the worst thing, which I actually didn't know, but I know it right now. So if you're saving tier 3 crates, now they're not gonna changing into tier 4. So those are gonna be still tier 3s, and at the end of the day, you will opening a lot of command crates and they're not gonna turn into tier 4. So as soon as game update 5.2 drops out, and if you are level 300, you need to start farming a lot to get command crates and get yourself the legendary gears. So tier 1 to 3 changes. The elimination of premium from the crates would have been a welcome change for me, but the deal breaker is the unspecified RNG drop rates and no duplicate mitigation. My personal drop rates resulted in was no one usable upgrade. I don't count Clickly relics as anything expected trash from, for instance, per 30 or so crates. At command like 240ish, I think it's been since why I bothered. I still didn't have a 5-piece sub bonus and had 3 slots till unfilled and had a ton of duplicates, like 6 relics of the same type, 3 or 4 chests, 2 gloves and 3 or 4 earpieces, and the only one set piece dropped was higher than tier 1. Without some duplicates, mitigation, and or some idea drop rates actually are medium low, medium high, and medium meaning nothing, you will have no desire to pay or grind up to tier 4 and would have no time to do so on alt. So good luck. I will chat back in 6.0 maybe. And Eric Musco replied to that, although we haven't going to expose exact drop rates, I think I can add a little clarity to the relative drop rate listed above. Your point, to your point, with the new rates, you will have a much better chance of getting a set bonus quality item, artifact, and legendary that will be one without a prototype. Basically, at the top of a tier, majority of your items will be a set bonus gearing quality. That is a constant to the day where at all levels, premium and prototype are most likely items you will get. So pretty much these are pretty bad. And to be perfectly honest, this guy has a point. So even though if you are 240, you will probably getting the same gear. Like for example, maybe you can get 3 gloves, but one is a or 2 is a prototype and 1 is an artifact, and pretty much you cannot do anything with the prototype items unless they are, like for example, buying to legacy and they can put it to some other characters. Would be really, really nice, but I don't think it's gonna happen. What about the operations do not have master mode? For example, AV/KP, they will drop tier 3 gear, which is a shame. I still don't understand why they removed the nightmare mode. I don't get it. They should bring those back. From existing operations, tier 1 no longer drops. Tier 2 legendary gear, tier 3 legendary gear, veteran, so on and on. Thanks for the heads up, that allows us to plan raid schedules ahead of time. But what about PvP? I'm not a PvP player, but I know this will cause issues in PvP. Ever since you have merged PvE and PvP gear, there has been an issue that PvP players can get gear more easily than PvE players. Now it appears that tier 4 is only available from tier 4 command crates and from master mode operations and veteran mode tied. Is that correct? Or is it possible to upgrade gear to tier 4 via the unassembled components? Well, that is a really good question, what Eric is saying as well. PvP players were able to buy tier 2 pieces outright without upgrading from tier 1. This largely leaves the progression untouched from today, as they can buy gear and upgrade it twice. They just start tier 1 higher than before. So pretty much there will be a lot of questions more. And let's just read out a few because I don't want to sit here all day, all night. So, there is no clarity without actual rates. I understand that there isn't full clarity without all the details, but let me see what I can get one step closer. In an example of Bob, there will be 3 items grades, each of medium-ish drop rate. You can make infer that medium is a context means around 33% drop rate, since there are 3 and they are relatively equal. Again, it isn't 100% actual drop rate, and my other community manager disclaimer, still that box other step drop rate line. Okay, what is this saying? I have not seen any of the posts addressing changes in the PvP gear tiers, so I will re-ask the question. Since we have a new gear, is the bolster going to be moving up? With the new tier, is tier 1 being removed from shops, and tier 2 236 becomes first tier you buy with unassembled components? This is the case of ops. If there is the 4th tier of PvP gear, if there is a 4th tier, what be the unassembled components cost? Is the existing cost of gear for unassembled components will change. Bolster will be moving up to 238. Yes, you can purchase tier 2 as the first tier with unassembled components. I am not sure about the last 2. Let me work on getting those answers. And oh, someone asked me this on Twitter, and I wanted to make sure it is captured here. The content you command crates is the mind when you're opening them. Think of how words of disciplines. So many tier 1 free crates you have prior to 1.2 will have just upgrades and stuff like that. I don't really want to talk about these. The main thing is, what I really like is all the bosses now is gonna drop operation gear pieces. It's gonna be much better and more players, and it's gonna be much easier for sure for players who are not familiar with the gear, but they just seeing it, for example, and they are just okay, blue item, but still better than my legendary tier 1, and it's gonna be much better. So I'm a little bit scared with the 300 legendary drop rates, but we'll see how that goes. But guys, these are a lot of news came out for 5.2. Probably there is going to be still a little bit more. And if you wanted to check out the loot table, what is going to be dropped, it's right here. So Eternity Vault has these, Karagas Palace, and so on and on and on. Implant in Master Mode, legs in Master Mode, boots in Master Mode, gloves in Master Mode, earpiece in Master Mode. There is no Master Mode. Chance to drop any slots, Tithe Relic. Loot by slot. Asian Pylons, Eternity Vault. 4-man Kosher, Ear. So these are loot by slot. Ear will dropping these bosses. Implant will dropping these bosses. Bracers will dropping these bosses. So on and on and on. So if you wanted to see the loot table, it's on there. It's in the SWTOR forums and stuff like that. And I'm glad they will bringing. I think it's a little bit better, and they are slightly getting there. So hopefully these are gonna be much better as right now. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, smash the thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. And I talked a little bit too much on this video. Bye bye.